I live with, I hope to God it doesn't happen again, because I don't know if the town will survive another one.
The heartache in Pilger will not be forgotten. Every time the sky turns ominous, people there heed the warning, having lived through a nightmare firsthand. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us.
Hard to believe 1 year ago today, a monster storm spawned dueling tornadoes that left the northeast Nebraska town nearly demolished.
75% of Pilger was wiped out, several people injured, 2 people in the area killed, and many more left picking up the pieces. Tonight, we have team coverage for you. 1 year later, I follow up with survivors.
It's ripping up a whole town.
June 16th, 2014, the little town too tough to die, devastated by 2 EF4 tornadoes.
What is left of your house?
We'll go clear to the corner, take a look, just the foundation.
365 days of blood, sweat, and tears for the village of Pilger. Chairman Jim Duncan right in the middle of it then, losing the only home he'd known since 1945. Now rebuilding like so many others. Which room's gonna be yours?
I haven't figured out yet.
One of those 2.
One of those 2.
Duncan has been renting in nearby Wisner, waiting for the day he can finally come home. This new house almost finished, one of 7 being constructed by the Mennonite Disaster Service.
It's nice. It's nice. It's better than like we saw our other house go looking from the underneath and it went away.
This time around, he plans to buy a safe room. As for longtime next-door neighbor Larry Nelson, he didn't have much of a basement, so when he heard the tornado sirens go off, he decided to walk right across the way to his neighbor's house where he took shelter. And amazingly, that home's still standing.
It was right here. That's the floor there, and part of the roof is over there, and a few sidewalls here.
This is the site where Nelson's house once stood. A lot has changed since the last time we were here. He now plans to sell this lot. He's already bought another house in town.
It's probably 125 years old, and the windows were all broke out.
With help from family and friends, he fixed it up, keeping his friendship with Duncan and making new ones along the way.
She makes me cookies and springs over every once in a while.
Also new, this small storm cellar he now calls his own.
I'd probably be right in here.
As for the village of Pilger, piles of cement still linger. The water tower still standing strong. Now, 1 year later, this old schoolhouse facade serves as a haunting reminder of just how much this town has been through. Each block tells a different story. Some homes spared by the storms, with their owners feeling the burden of guilt every time they see the rubble.
They carry that weight on their shoulder, that why was my house okay? Why was this family's house taken?
Kim Nyman has seen it all. In fact, she's been supervising. She's been the village clerk for 18 years. She's a firefighter EMT and was the first responder who first spotted the twisters and called them in.
Everybody says, how do you describe a tornado? And angry. It was huge.
She too lost her home that fateful day.
It was one of those things where, okay, the house is gone. I can't do anything about that. So let's go see what I can do something about.
Nyman sprang into action then, organizing emergency crews and gathering water. She's been the town's rock ever since.
She is the most wonderful person that ever hit Pilger.
And I take care of everybody and before I take care of myself, and that's always been my nature. And I think God made me that way so I could take care of this.
The older generation so willing to help their neighbors out, many desperately hoping that tradition carries on.
He who has no pride in the past will have no future. So us older generation took care of the old Pilger. Now it's going to have to be up to the younger people to take care of the new Pilger.
People like Chris Deering are up for that challenge. He and his wife moved to Pilger 4 years ago.
We're trying to get our friends to come here too.
They plan to stay.
We're just as excited as everybody else is to see the town coming back. We're not going to go anywhere. We want to see everything kind of, you know, the new version of Pilger now.
365 days ago, a population of 352. At its low point, 160, now 197 and growing.